All right, today is the day. We've got the GX470 here, and we've got a nice Grom VLine VL2. So this SKU is the Lex 5 VL2. So this is a complete standalone VLine. It's not the LITE. I think I finally figured out what that means between my 430 and research and all that. So essentially, the complete version has some Android functions and apps built in, so you don't have to connect your phone to use the apps, basically. So you can use Google Maps by itself without a phone, but you're obviously not going to have traffic because it's not connected to the internet. It's just kind of like offline Google Maps, if you will. And I'll say the worst part about this that I hate the most is running the microphone all the way behind the dash and then up the pillar and mounting it kind of up on the top of the windshield. So this all looks similar to the 430. I don't really expect any problems or issues or things I don't know what I'm doing on this one. You know, everything else is the same. The unit here, unfortunately, the glove box, there's only one glove box, so yeah, I don't know if there's room underneath, like, hopefully, or this will just have to get dumped in the glove box like the 430 is. But this is it. Your little designed, tested, and assembled in the USA. That's not to say parts aren't from foreign countries, but that's okay. It's got all the same stuff, USB, HDMI, the camera. I am interested to see how the factory reverse camera works. I'm assuming it just works as normal, and this isn't part of that equation. But on the 430, it goes through this because there's no backup camera. So that's that. I'll kind of get into how to remove this thing. If I can move all this out of the way. So I think starting in 07 they had aux port here. Obviously I don't need that anymore because that's all going to be done streaming Bluetooth with the Grom. But yeah, I literally never use this because I'm in the wrong region. Well, I guess this doesn't matter anymore because I'm not using it anymore. Yeah, I never use the nav. Like, my phone is always just up and on Maps and Google and all that stuff. So, unfortunately, it's just out of date, and it doesn't really function as I need it to, or anybody probably needs it to. But in order to keep the factory look, we are installing the Grom versus doing any kind of aftermarket system. So, next I'll get into how to get it out of here, and then show you the harness for the Grom and how that works in here and all that good stuff. But our auxiliary port, actually, well, I don't think this will ever be used because nothing really has auxiliary ports anymore. Kind of went away from that and then went to the streaming Bluetooth and everything. I was going to say, I wonder if I could use this plug with the Grom, but I don't really know where this goes, so I'm not going to bother trying to figure out how to, like, splice this and run it to the Grom. Like, big deal. So that's it. You can see I got the Prado silver HVAC trim pieces here. I also did the black piano interior conversion, the LK, I think it's LK10 or LK01. That's the black wood shift knob, the black trim piece here, black trim piece over here, and the black, not black trim, but it's like a really, really dark brown steering wheel, and then this nice $180 wood trim piece here. Unfortunately, I reached out to a lot of like salvage yards and everything else, and they were selling GXs, so they obviously had the truck there, and so I sent them a message. I sent them their picture of the truck. I circled like these pieces I needed. I'm like, I need this, I need this, I need this. And they're like, oh, well, we don't sell those. So there's a bunch of black, and these are pretty rare. These are like a really rare trim option. And so I had to buy new. Like this stupid thing, I think was like, I don't even want to know. I think it was like $700 or 400 or something ridiculous. Same with this centerpiece, like $400, $500, $600. But I mean, what are you gonna do? There's just nobody's cooperative. And then the other last piece are the trim on the door panels here. So it has the same black trim on right here. And you can unscrew this from the back. But again, I had to buy 4 new door panels just to get that black trim. Because I don't know if it was like the bird's eye wood or that really light brown color that just looks stupid in here. I had to get rid of that. So anyways, side story tangent there. I was able to sell the door panels that I bought with my old black, tan trim. So I recouped the cost for some of that. But I think these are like 100 something for the pair. So not bad. But again, nobody's crazy like me, so there's probably nobody that's even considering doing that. But I just needed to have this nice black interior with the gray. Like, it has to happen. So, alright, next part of the video, I'm going to take this out, we'll get it out of here, and then go from there. Alright, step 1. These side plastic trim pieces. Take your favorite trim removal tool, get some leverage in here, and I already obviously popped this loose for the camera, but this pops up like so. Same with the right side. Back here worked well to pop it up and loosen it. And then there's just tabs, press fit, pop in, etc. Step 2, 10 millimeter or Phillips. There's a screw on each side, left and right, right here. I say screw because it's actually a nut or a bolt, but it's a screw, so either way. I'll just put that there. 2 10 millimeter screw bolts. And next step, carefully. Now here you want to make good decisions at this point, because the wood ones are very, very fragile and brittle after however long, and they will literally crumble when you take them out. Pieces will break, the tabs will break off. I'll show you in a second here. If I can figure out where this piece is from. So on the wood, since it's obviously wood is brittle, you'll have a lot of these tabs break off and crumble, and like the retainers for this break. This is plastic, so it's a lot more durable, and this is brand new. So yeah. And then again, like I mentioned before in my other videos, the foam on the vents is gone. So this is an 07, similar to the Tundra I mentioned and various other Lexuses. If you shut your vent entirely and you feel air still coming out, well, that's because the foam is just gone, just deteriorated. So you can replace this foam, 3 millimeter foam on Amazon. Look it up, and then you can cut it out to fit and then seal up your vents again. So it's a common Lexus, Toyota, VW thing. I'm sure a lot of manufacturers do that. I don't know why. But again, that's that. Same on the passenger side, right side. Just pop this out carefully. Wiggle, pull. And don't forget the plug for the passenger side airbag indicator. And again, this foam is just gone. Just gone. Dead. So I have passengers sometimes, and you know, when they close the vent, they can still feel the air, so that's kind of frustrating. And it's something a lot of people don't realize or want to mess with, or maybe they just don't care. But it's the little things, I'm telling you. Once that's out, this assembly here will pop right out. This is the ashtray, which is never used. A trailer brake controller actually fits in here pretty well, and you just push it in if you're doing any towing. Not much more to say about that. We're almost there. Pretty easy. We've got 2 more bolts on each side, 10 millimeter here, 10 in the upper right, and then 10 in the lower right. So I like just loosen them by hand. Of course, that one's right up against the steering wheel. So it's going to make me do this. Okay. I'm not going to bore you with taking out the remaining 3 bolts, so I'm going to get those out and be right back. Alright, got all 4 bolts out. Now this thing just pulls out of the dash. It's got 2 tabs on top that lock it into place into the instrument panel or dash pad. And from here you've got a bunch of wires, plugs, all sorts of stuff. So you want to make sure that when you put this all back together, you're plugging in everything, you're not missing any plugs or wires, because you have to take it all apart again. So you got your antennas here, the grounds, a couple of plugs for the stereo, and then your display up here, and that's it. Very easy compared to some models. Alright, so we've got the whole unit removed and ready for the Grom install. They provide this nice little microphone here, which we're going to have to run from basically the glove box area. And since we're over there, I'm going to probably run it up the passenger side, curtain, airbag, pillar thing, and then up under the, headliner, and then mount it somewhere, up here, and just have a little microphone sticking out. Some people stick it like up here. I think it's kind of tacky. So while this is apart, you might as well just do it the right way and run it clean and correct. We've got a USB cable here, which we'll never use. Now here's our GPS receiver. This is for the standalone thing, like I mentioned. This will probably just stick. I've had good results with just kind of sticking it up here somewhere, because the GPS signal makes it through the dash fine. It doesn't have to be like mounted on top of the dash or anything. And then we've got brackets, mounting brackets for the Grom unit, which probably never get used by anybody. And the most important part, we've got our harnesses. So let's look at what harnesses we got here. A little bit different from the 430, just obviously because the model is different. I hate these twisty ties. It's like one way, you twist one way and it gets tighter, and you swear it's the opposite way, and yeah. So this, it says literally on it, do not bend, GVMF. Okay, so here's your, looks like a display port. It's got display port on one end. Ah, I see. So this is going to intercept our video line right here. So it's blue, color coded the same. So basically you're gonna, it's intercepting it. So it's taking it from the navigation unit, or the disk, or whatever it's called. I don't know if these aren't hard drives, these are disks, I believe. Anyways, it's taking it, going to the Grom, and then spitting it back out. So here's your plug back into the display. So that's going to take care of all our video, and then the DP adapter gets fed down wherever the Grom is. If I can find where I stuck the Grom, here we will find our DisplayPort adapter right there. So that's how that's going to go. That's going to basically allow the Grom to display whatever it wants on our head unit. And then we have MCF Toy, which is probably a somewhat universal Toyota harness. And this is for our audio. So again, like the LS430, this goes into the Grom side. And then this is going to intercept the... This is going to be, what, stereo down here? So this is going to be the audio portion. Just make sure. Yeah, I think so. It's not very... Oh, it's upside down. So yes, this intercepts the factory harness before it gets to the stereo. This plugs into the stereo, and you run this down to the Grom. And that's it. This one's pretty simple. So now I just got to kind of flip sides and then wire it all up under the glove box. I'm going to feed all these wires down that way. We're going to run our GPS up on the dash somewhere and put it back together, and we're done. Next part of the video, I'm going to be powering this thing on, and we're going to be trying it out. Alright, here we go. It's all done. I got Android Auto connected on my phone, and we're on Google Maps right now. And resolution is quite a bit better than the LS430, just because of the generation of this navigation screen and how much newer it is. But yeah, everything's great, everything's perfect. The microphone works, the audio is the same, so there's no loss in the amplifier, the factory audio. It's still loud, it's still clear, and that's about it. I mean, not much else to say. It's pretty simple install, and now you can get rid of your cell phone mounts on the windshield. You can get rid of your auxiliary adapters and your Bluetooth streaming, and integrate it all into one unit. So very impressed again with Grom and their level of quality in these units. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you will get a Grom in your GX470.